Bell, Kelly Davis.
Yep.
Angie Wilson.
Here.
Brian Chapman. On. Okay. Kim Reed is here. Okay, we need to know if there's any agenda amendments, and if not, we'll go ahead and I'll entertain a motion for the approval of tonight's agenda.
No changes.
No changes, I know.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
okay, a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, first thing, action item is approval of the minutes from the November 19th meeting. If everybody's read over that, if there's no corrections or additions or changes, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the November 19th, 2025 meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion
I second.
and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, current projects, is that you, Trevor?
I think it's, we can both kind of tag
You
team.
can share it however you want to do it.
You can do local and I can do the big ones if you want.
Our local projects going on? Yeah. So what we're primarily focused on this year on the water side is fire hydrants.
Cool.
So we tackled a lot of water line last year. We did a lot of galvanized replacement. We made a lot of headway. We haven't got nearly the calls in the middle of the night, for water leaks. So I told the guys I want every single fire hydrant to be in working order this year.
That'd be great.
So we're putting all of our water main replacement money towards fire hydrants this year, because there's probably, that I know of for sure don't work, there's probably 5, maybe 6 even, and at $3,700 a hydrant, they get pretty costly.
Some of them need lifted.
Yeah, a lot of them
You
need
can't even
lifted.
get to the steamer.
Yeah, so that's another part of it, and I already have all those risers.
Good.
I've got all the risers to do them. I've got 5 hydrants on order right now, and then we're gonna rebuild the ones that we can, but it's kind of like at $2,500 to rebuild a 70-year-old, or not 70, 1970 hydrant. You kind of gotta weigh your options and, where does it kind of make sense? Can we take parts from this one, kind of move it around? So we're gonna try to spread the budget out as far as we can that way, but that is our main goal. Once we do get all the hydrants replaced, then we're gonna use that money to start changing out valves, or putting valves in.
Good.
More likely, because there's, gosh, I think we're sitting at, don't quote me on it, but I think about 515 hydrants roughly. Of course, everything new that goes in has an isolation valve, but there's probably 200 out there easily that don't have an isolation valve, so, yeah, so.
In front of it, the isolate pipe.
So you gotta shut the whole main off, so, that's like what we're dealing with out in the Meadows subdivision right now. In the process of, fixing one of the hydrants, we actually snagged one of the lines that we didn't even know was there, so.
So they're all wet barrel, they don't have the valve, right?
Basically.
No,
Well, they had the hydrant valve.
They have the hydrant valve.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
just
yeah.
can't have the
Yeah.
hydrant coming off of the saddle, they don't have the valve and then going on.
You got it, yeah.
Right.
So if you wanna work on the hydrant, if you gotta do that main seat in the bottom, you're screwed. I mean, you're shutting the whole line down. Now, of course, anything above ground, we can still work on, but.
Sure.
In most time, you got a problem with one, it's gonna be down at the bottom, so. So that's what we're working on, that's what water's doing this year.
But did I ask, while we're on hydrants, did I ask you, have y'all ever do any flow testing on the hydrants? Do you have that
Oh, yeah.
device?
So part of what I'm working on right now is this new, I don't know, deal. It's called OWIA, and it's this safety security deal. And part of OWIA is all the hydrants have to be exercised, located, GPS located, and all that. So I've got the GPS location down. We already got that.
Yeah.
Exercising is kind of here, there, and everywhere. And I do have a bunch of records from previous years where we used to do it. Then we had an administrator that came in for a while. I'm not even going to mention names. That said, stop flow testing hydrants because it's wasting water. So we stopped doing that, and so we're starting back up on that. We're getting back into that, but so part of that OWIA deal is we have to also get all the dates that it was tested online, have that on record. DNR comes in, hey, here it is, it's on Diamond Maps, take a look at it. So
I'm
Yeah.
kinda curious about the hydrant, and I talked to you this months ago, I'm sure you forgot, because you got other things going on, but one out by East Elementary, the way it's fed, looking at the maps, it's kinda just hanging out there,
Mm-hmm,
and it's pretty far from the school too.
yep, yep.
So, you know, to get one closer, obviously, you're gonna have to run main, and I'm not saying to do that, but it might be good to know what kind of flow you could get from that if the school caught on fire.
So, there's two hydrants by that East Elementary.
Yeah.
There's one that's real close to it, that's off the 6-inch main. And then the other one, I think we were talking about, was that one that's on the 8-inch, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. That kinda sits off there by itself, yeah. We actually did just get flow test on that.
Oh, okay.
Because the school putting in that new, storm shelter right now is actually out there today at the water line over there.
Okay.
They had to do flow testing for moving that water line around.
Oh, okay.
And they're actually raising that hydrant, part of that project too. I said, I want that hydrant raised, you know, I don't want any 90s, cause that reduces fire
Mhm.
flow.
Yeah.
So they're adding valves, no 90s, only 45s, I'm
Oh,
relocating it.
Good.
So, yeah, it's gonna be a good project when it's done, but it has been,
Okay.
a chore getting that. So yeah, I do have recent numbers on that fire hydrant,
Okay.
and it did pass.
Okay.
Don't quote me on what it was, but I remember they
Is
were.
it 1,500 GPM for commercial, is that still the number?
I don't know for sure on that
Okay.
one.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember for sure on that one.
Okay, all right, that's
Yeah.
good, that's good for getting that addressed.
Have you looked at, like, and I'm not picking on down the road, did they look at any future additions to add some hydrants? Like on my street, Haven Street, we ain't got no hydrants.
So, problem with Haven is, it's this 4-inch main.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, so,
It needs to be, it really needs to be a 6.
yeah, at least,
At
yeah.
least, yeah, I knew it was a 4-inch. I thought it was 4-inch, pretty much.
Yeah.
I didn't know what comes in that feeds it, but I don't know what it feeds off of, but I figured it was 4.
When I first started here, actually, they were saying, hey, we're gonna put hydrants out there. The board at the time was pretty serious about it.
Right.
And, the director at the time, he kept telling them, which I think was the right call, you
Yeah.
don't wanna do that, you don't wanna do that, I'm telling you, it's.
No, it's not, that's not enough, no, you need
Yeah.
a volume, you need something to carry it.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
Yeah,
I just didn't know, I know that hydrant right there at the, where you come around 94, and you cut on back around there, or you take off to right, head toward,
yeah,
or hit the gravel road, I know
Yeah.
that hydrant there, it's painted orange top, so it probably don't have less than 500 gallons in there.
yeah, I don't remember the gallons exactly, I remember the code, you know.
Right.
Like red, ridiculous, orange, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, yeah, I don't remember the actual flows that it has on there, but.
That's the closest thing we got, other than bringing trucks up there, which they got trucks, we got trucks.
Yeah.
We carry plenty of water, but
Yeah, first step, get them all the ones that we have.
that'd be good.
Working. Second step, get some isolation valves, as far as we can stretch it out.
Sure, good idea.
I mean, they're even pulling a 6-inch valve out from the school project over here, and I told them I want that because I'm putting it on a hydrant, so do not take that with you, you know, so.
Don't take that valve.
I'm trying to do everything I can, you know, to stretch it out as far as we can go, but.
Okay.
That's right, that's good.
Yeah, sewer is kind of the same story, there's probably gonna be for a long time. As far as locally, I'll let him take the rest, but, we're still camming and jetting basically daily, and, trying to find some sort of I&I, you know, anywhere we can. It's kind of a chore, we got a lot of data, but we're trying to hit the low-hanging fruit stuff before we start digging up roads and stuff like that for the smaller things, you know. But it's kind of what we got
How
going.
many, and you identified that to us once, and I know you did. I mean, you got a lot of them. How did those guys ever get away with tying their sub pumps to the sewer line going out to the trunk?
I think they're
How did
just,
that ever get to happen? I mean, how did people come up with that other than just daylighting it to a ditch and letting it run the ditch course and land where it should flow the pattern?
I mean, I think,
I don't get that. I don't know
A lot
how
of
that was
times-
allowed to happen.
I don't think anybody here specifically would have allowed it, but,
No, I just say it's weird how people figure, well, and that probably all transpired when the sewer was actually put in Willard. And they probably thought, oh, hey, I'm running this new, I'm getting off my septic, so I'll cut a little line in here. I got a sub pump, I'll just put a T in there.
Well, and these plumbers, you know, they give a quote, well, the cheapest way to keep your quotes, your sump pump's right here, there's a sewer line right here. Hey, yeah, I can put that in for
I'll just tie that
$500.
together for you and.
Yeah.
We'll send her on down the
The
line.
next cheapest guy's $2,000, you know, cause he's gotta drill through your foundation and go out to the yard. So
Yeah.
which one are you gonna take?
Yeah, wait, you're gonna take this guy, yeah, I'll go from here to there, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It was amazing that when you gave us that number, where you had identified that, you know, and believe it or not, it shocked me.
Yeah.
It just shocked me that you guys had that much, and that
Yeah.
much is going forward, I mean.
And there were newer homes doing that. And I think with the addition of an actual inspector here, I think that's gonna be a lot less, you know,
Good.
I hope so.
Good.
So we'll kinda.
So, I mean, the city shouldn't be expected to take on more and pay more money for something that is a natural thing that should just be
Yeah.
flowing, even though a sub pump's bringing water up under their house or whatever it's doing, it should be flowing into the street.
Yeah.
If that's the case, all you gotta do is get you a pipe and lay it, you know, you gotta have it take
Yeah.
it down, ain't hard, it don't gotta be that deep.
Well, even
Just pump it up and
downspouts.
send it on.
Yeah. I mean, they're even putting downspouts, you know. and-
Yeah.
And Casey's a good example of that, you know, at her house, her downspouts were going in the sewer and she had no idea, you know, she
Yeah.
bought the house not knowing it.
That's
you
what I'm
know.
saying, nobody.
We smoke tested and there it came up right under the sidewalk and she was like, oh my God, you know, and
Yeah.
she fixed it, but it's like, why, you know, that's a new subdivision, I mean,
Yeah, just,
So-
just some tricky stuff there, you know?
yeah.
I don't want to tie your time up with that.
Problem that's probably gonna take a lot of time, I think I quantified it, it's about 200 to 250,000 of our sewer bill
To
annually.
I-9?
What was that maybe of the, it's been a while since I did the number, I think that might have been over a period, but
Wow.
that's a big number going just on rainwater.
Yeah,
And I'm
just
sure
trying
they'd
to
rather
think
we
if that
don't
was all
send that
disconnected.
weekend,
But then you're right, how do you go to these people and say, hey, guess what, you better cut that off, you know? Or, so we're gonna, well, I didn't do that, that wasn't my fault, it was there when I bought the house. you
And
know?
that's kind of what me and Wes and Mike had kind of talked about is, there probably has to be some kind of incentive from the city, you know.
Both ways.
Yeah, you know, and, what's the best way of doing that, you know, I mean, cause we don't have a huge budget, like, we can't, like Springfield, I've had several meetings with them, and they're paying 100%, you know.
To get it off,
Yeah.
they're paying the client 100% to get
And,
it
but
off.
there's just.
But they got a huge, yeah, they got a huge chunk of money.
Yeah,
One
yeah,
thing we've talked about, and I don't think we've pushed on this just yet, but was finding some local plumbers who
Yeah.
would be willing to do it at a certain rate, so we can cap the cost and know that it's somebody.
That's
who's-
not a bad idea.
there's 3 plumbers here, you pick one of these 3, you
We'll
know,
pick your own,
we've got a
right?
contract.
Get it
going.
done.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it'll, again, people that are conscious of things that we're sitting here talking about tonight, they would understand that, well, gosh, man, we're putting water on that's costing us them money, which
Yeah.
raises more problems.
yeah,
If we can get it, I mean, it would be unreasonable to expect to get it out overnight, but, I mean, obviously, if you can get it out pretty quickly, that is a pretty significant rate cushion for future years, so.
Yeah, I agree,
It's definitely not inconsequential for everybody.
I agree, absolutely. Well, that's curious, I just curious, it shocked me, I just thought, boy, that's amazing.
I know.
You learn a lot of things when you're in the utility business.
Yeah.
So,
Is that you
What's that?
covered?
Yeah, I think so, I mean, unless everybody's got anything else, other questions about that?
you know, I'm excited to see the sewer jobs going, and I'm
Yeah.
excited for you guys to see that for you.
Yeah,
I'm excited to hear
it's
fire
got
hydrants are gonna get fixed.
Some
Yeah.
attention, which is nice. As far as large scale, obviously Meadows is proceeding, and has been proceeding for a couple of weeks now. As I understood, they reversed the direction, you know, originally we thought they were gonna start towards the lagoon end and kind of move this way, and then they decided, well, it would make more sense if we connect at the lift station and then get our angles based on that, so that's why we anticipated shutting 103 on around about May,
Right.
and then we're like, hey, guess what, guys, we're shutting it down. But that's why, they wanted to make sure that was right, that was the more complicated piece, if they can get that just right and something doesn't quite work out right upstream, that's much easier to adjust than downstream, so, it was a decision quickly made, it was the right decision, as it stands, they have filled the junction with concrete, we should be right within that 2-week time frame of getting it reopened. Don't think it quite passed the pressure test on it yesterday, or maybe that was, I think it's late yesterday. Hopefully sometime tomorrow that junction will reopen. But if not, even if it opens on Friday, we should still be right on time for that. I'm sure that'll make people happy to have that cut through. I know I use that cut through a lot. I think everybody is like, yeah, it's pretty handy. It's pretty handy.
I got burned by it, last week, taking my wife there.
Well, I turned the same way coming off of Double E, and I thought, oh my God, I forgot to cut that road through.
Now, on your big projects, you know, we talked a lot
Yeah.
about Stockton inspectors. What do you do for inspection to ensure that contractors doing what they're supposed to be doing?
Well, we've kind of double hit it, I guess. First off, most importantly, we opted to pay the additional to make sure Alger Martin was on site every day watching the inspection. But we're fortunate we have our building inspector has experience with sewer connections and sewer work, and saw a lot of it in Republic. So he has also been going out there and kind of double checking as well. So
Mhm.
I think that that's going to be beneficial. I think you guys have occasionally been out there as well, kind
Yeah,
of
so
looking around. So
we were
got
out there
lots of
today.
eyes on it.
Okay.
We,
Lots of eyes on it.
yeah, Arnold, Mike told you about the concrete over there and all.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, it's all redone, looks great.
Yeah.
So it's done
Yeah,
up.
that's what he told me a
Yeah.
while ago. So I mean, I think with all that, and of course when the other project kicks off in earnest, that might stretch us a little bit, but we still want to kind of have eyes on it and keep an eye
Now,
on
is
it.
this all being documented with photos and field notes and so forth?
As far as you guys, I'm not sure, but yes, with the engineering, after mine, yes, the field notes documentation and checks, and I see him out there whenever I go around, I see him in his little high-vis jacket running around.
Cool.
The video, I did a short video on that one. Actually, it was nice to see a comment on that one. Somebody said, you know, sewer projects, good job. You know, they seem happy. We'll do another one when the other one kicks off properly, and there's no worth showing them. Right now, that's on pause. They're on pause for two reasons. I think they're still waiting on their equipment to show up, and they want to have some additional training just to make sure they can use their new equipment properly. And then I think the other thing is they're waiting to make sure all risk of snow is passed, because they're going to do some pretty significant trenching. They don't want any risks of issues and whatnot. The plan there is to start, I think it's in New Melville, that old New Melville Road. There's no dead end spot, I may misremember the name, but there's a spot with a dead end road. They'll shut that off to everything but local traffic, and they'll start there and trench in, and then kind of work back towards Kearney, isn't it? Isn't that the connection?
That's where our connection to Springfield is on Kearney.
Yeah.
I don't remember, I get the two projects
I
mixed
do
up,
too.
so.
I do too. I think there's somewhere down there that's gonna be a connection point. There's some gas junctions down there that we're gonna have to navigate pretty carefully. But fortunately, that's what they do, not what we do. And then the connection essentially, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, who are the contractors on that?
That one was Young's Contracting, wasn't it? And then
It's
on
doing the black
Meadows.
lights.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then Meadows is JD Wallace. But that's really the updates for those. It's the Meadows one is probably moving pretty quick once they get that
It's
junction.
moving real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, once they get up to past all that treacherous.
The rest of it's
Easy,
Smooth
yeah.
sailing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Should be.
and they got till August. I mean,
Yeah,
so it's-
I would be shocked if they're done a little sooner.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Young's, I suspect, will start in the coming weeks, and they have until October, right?
Yeah, October 13th.
Yeah. So I think we'll be in good shape.
What are you thinking about the water tower, when they're gonna drop off on?
Just waiting on a schedule. We're bugging them every day. We've got the tower paint picked out. And
I like that.
everything's kind of ready. We just need them to tell us a date, and you can bet you'll see my happy little face out there making a video as soon as I
I'm
know.
excited for all that.
That's gonna
That'd
be
be fun.
news. I think everybody can finally get
Yeah.
behind us.
Oh, yeah,
It's something we look at every day is not gonna look as
It's gonna be
disappointing.
pretty, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna
It is.
brighten all that up there.
It
Oh,
is,
yeah.
it's gonna be a good one. It is still on plan for this year, we just don't know when.
June-ish is
June-ish.
when I reserved the VFD for.
Okay, so there we go, that's a
Few
close
months.
approximation.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as we know more, definitely we'll be
So
sure.
then, once you get started, so you'll drain, and then they'll go inside and do all the inside first.
Yeah,
Right.
all the interior, we're gonna do the exterior too, but we're not doing a full blast down.
Okay,
We kinda ran the cost analysis and it just didn't pencil with our budget to try to
Okay.
do it. So it'll still be good,
Right.
remaining, but not a full blast.
It'll buy us a good amount of time.
Yeah.
Put some money
well,
in
that,
it.
anything that's really to help it and bring it up to better.
Mhm.
Yeah, realistically, 10 years is what we're looking at
Yeah.
on next year.
Are you still going with the company that's gonna do the maintenance like we talked about? I think
Yeah.
that's the best idea you've come up with.
Yeah, we're signed into the contract.
Yeah, we're trying our best.
Yeah.
But then the plan after that, you know, next year, I hope we'll introduce our capital improvement budget, and then the plan is we start shoveling money in the, you know, proverbial piggy bank
There you
to
go.
make sure we can take care of these things on time.
Yeah,
as we
I
move
think it's gonna be
forward.
great.
think
So, then you work toward the next tower over here,
Mhm.
the school tower?
School tower will be year 6 of the agreement, and the downtown
Downtown
tower, the
tower.
water bowl will be 7th year of the agreement, and then that will complete the agreement, and then we'll be on a more even keel maintenance plan of, I wanna say it was considerably cheaper.
Cool.
If I give you a number, I'm guessing, so I won't guess.
That's all right. You know,
But it was
it-
considerably cheaper than what we're paying now, once we get on to just routine, maintenance plan.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
it's good stuff for the city, we're excited to be getting it done. People,
We're
people
pushing
when they
this
came in
train
told
up
me,
the
show
track
me,
now.
I'm
Trying.
we're trying our
We're
best.
working on it,
It's
ain't
trying
we?
our best.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody will realize when they start seeing things change, when other things change from all the improvements that are going on today,
Yeah,
and other things start showing rearing their head up and looking around,
yeah.
that's when everything looks
That's
great.
exciting.
That's exciting,
We've seen
yeah.
a lot of change in the last, year and a half. Next thing, fun thing will be the roads, won't it, Angie? We've been talking a little back and forth on it. That's the next one, but.
Is the road,
Not
working
for
on the
this,
road?
not for this meeting. Yeah, we gotta,
I know,
just
there's
a piece of
some
infrastructure.
pretty
You
tough.
gotta have the infrastructure to have a community.
Yeah,
And
you
the
did.
infrastructure just makes it difficult to have a community, but, yeah, we're working on it. Anything else I'm missing on the 2 big ones? Those are the main
Yeah, I think
important
that's-
ones, aren't they?
Yeah, have they seen the tower, kind of what you were looking at on the tower,
I don't know.
or maybe they might
Did share it.
give some direction on how to?
Email that to you. I don't know if there's gonna be a way to put it up on here. But we'll.
Is it the same picture you showed me out the meeting at the chamber the other day?
Yes,
It's gorgeous.
yeah.
I think it's gonna be great. I like the change and I like it all.
It's just a new direction. It won't be up there forever, but, you know, once we have, the money in the pot to blast it completely.
Yeah.
Then we'll have a sit down, I guess, and decide exactly how we want it to look for the next, however long that will last.
Yeah,
I'm sure blast and roof spray will last a considerable amount of time.
oh, yeah.
But that's, I guess that's all the projects and updates.
Can I ask something, this might be a touchy subject, but
Oh,
I know,
We like that.
Yep,
well, from an engineering standpoint, I know you've got an engineer that does all your projects.
Mhm.
How is the contract set up with them? I mean, like, what I'm coming from is like, your next major project that comes up, whatever it might be, are they automatically the engineer on it? Can you bring in others to do presentations? Do you do that?
yeah, so that's what we did, with picking Algar, I don't think you weren't here for
I
that.
wasn't here,
So-
I'm familiar with the after.
So we did presentations with 3 for sure, maybe 4 different engineering companies, and then we scored them. It was me, Steve Bodenhammer, who was the CA at the time, and Greg Williams, who was the economic director, and then we had one citizen, sit on, and then we all scored the engineers, so, you know, we had an impartial person, and then that's how we scored, and then that's how Algar Martin got that one,
Okay.
so.
But so like a new project comes up, you know, I know it's years out, but say a new water tank.
Yeah,
You would go through a selection process for
Right
engineering
now,
firm?
we have some time left. Cochrane has been engaged
Yeah.
as the water engineer, and then Alga Martin has been engaged as the sewer engineer. The Alga Martin agreement was set up to allow, I think, 3 yearly extensions with no limit. The Cochrane, I think, has 1 more extension available, so that would be one that potentially, depending on timing, would have to re-up through a bidding process.
Yeah.
But there's nothing, I think, that would exclude us from going to anybody else that's 7
No.
hours or on call.
and we don't wanna funnel all
Right,
everything
and
to
nothing
one.
bad about them, but
No.
I know from my time at City Utilities, we used either Burns and McDonald or Black and Beach, both out of Kansas City, for decades.
Yeah,
I mean, they did power, water, I mean, everything, and I think some of the local guys said, hey, we've got
Yeah.
staff right here locally, we want an opportunity.
yeah,
And we ended up, on several projects that I was involved in, we'd have 2 or 3 different consultants I mean, some might be Kansas City, some might be Springfield, but just to get a new set of eyes on things
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
is
I think
good.
for the water side, there may be benefit when that contract expires. With Avamont, they have what I perceive as a benefit. Richard McMillan has had extensive experience in Willard's sewer history off and on through the years. I think 20 years of experience, if you total that, right?
He actually set up Willard's sewer back in 1986.
Yeah, so
he
that to me is
engineered
kind
it.
of a benefit at the moment, as we have this old infrastructure, so
Yeah.
there may not be a need to consider that yet. Not to say if it was they're working on one big project and they can't handle two big projects, we can pivot at some point, but they have extensive data and so much stuff. And honestly, I would appreciate it, you can just ask them a simple question and they have all the maps.
Yeah,
They can shoot it
Yeah.
on. I have incredible confidence from what I've seen on their sewer work. But yeah, to your point, yeah, sometimes a benefit.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. I mean, same on a financial end, you don't want the same auditing company every year.
No.
You wanna change
Yeah.
those up every 3 or 4 years, just,
Yeah.
I think it looks better for the public that, hey, well, yeah, they're in bed with them or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that's
true.
that's
Give them a
good.
kickback or something, yeah.
Are we getting
no.
the best price if we're using the same ones?
Right.
Are we getting fresh eyes on everything, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good question. I thought it was gonna be way worse.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what you said. Okay.
Okay, that's a good question. Good question. No, that's good.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we have on that one. Financial statements, Gina didn't leave them where I could find them, so that's something I will have to email, I guess.
Okay.
And then on, I guess, scooting ahead to the director's report, I can give you the very brief update on the Jeff City visit. It did go terribly. Obviously didn't walk away with a big check either. It's part of a process. I was able to meet with some senators, some legislators. I met with the, I think, deputy of DNR, and he was going to go and explore some options for us as well. So at this point, really just waiting for another call to go to Jeff City and potentially have meetings with folks. So we're kind of in a holding pattern waiting on our representative up there. That's what's coming next.
Cool. I know we've been paying a lobbyist for several months now, and I'm, talking to people that said utilities, I keep bugging them about, how are y'all getting grants? They say, Willard just needs to get a good grant writer. That's what y'all need, is a grant writer. Not necessarily on staff,
Yeah.
but has that been looked into? And I don't know what they cost, I have no idea,
We've
but,
explored for the grants so far, a lot of them tend to come through the Economic Development Department. We do not meet the LMI criteria for those yet. We've asked Simcock if they might do a reevaluation for us to see if, because right now it's like our median household income is in the 80s.
I talked to someone in another community, Kimberlake City.
That's
And
what,
they-
yeah, they gave me the tip, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, talk to Jason at Simcog and they can help you with reevaluation, so I'm.
Yeah, they did something like,
Yeah.
they had people volunteer or fill out a survey or something.
Yeah, that's
They got
what
it
my
reduced.
understanding, it sounds like he'll reach out to homeowners and kind
Yeah,
of tell
they
them.
got it reduced and they were able
We
to.
wanna try and do this project, and we need some information, would you provide?
Okay, okay.
I've reached out for an update, I haven't heard back from him yet, but it doesn't sound too cost absorbent, so I would imagine it'd be something we would entertain. On the flip side, as far as, the grant side of DNR, it sounds like we have to do the whole bond refinance with DNR, and then they can give us a grant taking the money off the debt for specific things. So the closest example we could get to maybe working would be, and again, assuming all other things are true, if we get a loan for, I don't know, 5 million, we'll call it 5 million, that gives us 4 million for B to 94, 1 million for I&I. They may waive the 1 million for the I&I, so that would be considered a grant, but we still
Right.
have to do all the other stuff. So to me, I don't need a grant writer to do that piece.
right, yeah,
But if we can get the MHI figured out to where we may qualify for some Department of Economic Development stuff, that may fly then, and that may give us a benefit. So we've got a few steps and hoops to get through to get to that point,
Yeah.
to your point.
Are you still open to having Pat O'Brien and come talk to us
Yeah.
sometime?
Yeah,
Yeah, because it seemed like there was a misunderstanding.
I think so.
I think that's what happened. I'll call him.
I think that's what
I'll
happened.
talk to Pat.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah,
super
There's
guy.
no obligation to spend the dime or
No,
anything.
yeah, there's no obligation to spend a dime, there's no charge for them to come, no nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just, they wanna help you. That's why he wanted to meet with Trevor that day, and I couldn't be here when I hurt my back.
Yeah,
And that's why he just wanted to say, well, what's your system looking like? So he had an idea of what he could dig around and see what they can see.
It's possible he might know more than these two guys too.
That's
Oh, I'm
true.
sure he does.
Yeah.
It's always worth a shot.
He's a super smart dude, I'm telling you. He's amazing. And he's a good guy over there. He's easy to get along with. Yeah, he ain't no dummy to that.
But as far as the lobbyists, we had a checkpoint date of May to consider whether we'll continue that or not. I think the board will evaluate it from a couple of perspectives. I think expecting a response by then is likely not plausible as far as getting him having a securement of funding, but who knows. It's going to line up with the budgetary process.
Right.
What we're getting from the state right now is funds limited. They cut, I want to say it's something like, not they, I think it was the governor, cut about 90 projects, sewer projects from the budget last year. So there's a certain level of trepidation
Excuse me.
for people to put themselves out there. So right now, we just have it as, if the opportunity would arise, we would definitely like you to consider Willard. And then I think I've told you guys this before, but if not, I'm trying to connect the dots that this isn't just a sewer project, it's economic development for us.
Yeah.
So it's a very real circumstance, and if the governor's serious about increasing revenues, increasing taxes, increasing growth, this is a shovel-ready project that does just that. It would free up capacity on regional, and then that gets us quite a considerable amount of 160 corridor with a comfortable buffer on the sewer system. So, and of course other benefits, but that's the main one. Commercial growth possible right there. We don't have to thread the needle and worry about whether this can be done or that can be done. It also gives the opportunity to create some additional basins to the west of town, also commercial. Our engineers have that kind of all mapped out, kind of a backflow from 160 west with a lift station at the westernmost point, and then pushing it back into the force main. So really very real opportunity for real change for Willard for the better. And then it also allows us to consider a connection to the north and get that whole area opened up instead of just kind of a sliver of it. So that's my angle. It's a sewer project. Yep. Technically, yes, but for us, it's economic development, so we're trying to keep them focused on that.
Okay, yeah.
And then the other note I made this note during our joint water board BOA meeting, and just floating it, not for discussion, but
Yeah.
I suspect it might be a discussion item we might want to take up. I think this was when the Martin, the bond guy was talking,
Right.
and I forget, it might have been something that you triggered, Angie. But maybe she said, uh-oh. But ultimately what it came down to was maybe if we take, and we have now a list of all the projects that we really need, maybe if we take each of those projects and tie it to a rate impact and then have a public hearing and just see what, if anything, the public would be comfortable biting off.
Biting off.
Knowing that, if we do 3 projects, they come to 5%, or if we do these 10 projects, it comes to 20%. What do you, the public, want us to focus on, if anything?
If anything.
Or do you just want us to stand pat and just keep pushing as we're pushing at the moment? Hopefully with these 2 big projects in, we'll see some considerable slowdown. But it seems like the public is interested in seeing stuff happen, so
Yeah,
We
Ash
just
Grove
involved
passed
in-
theirs, and
Ash Grove passed theirs, that was a
Mhm.
special
Ozark.
election,
Yeah.
Ozark also?
Ozark did something, I haven't
Those
heard
are
what
passed a
happened.
rate increase last night, I think, for 17.5%.
Yeah, I think theirs passed, it's 17.5%.
Yeah.
And Ash Grove was seeing some growth, there's two big subdivisions.
Yeah, yeah. I
Well,
know.
of course, Ash Grove, they said, okay, look, you can either pass this
Yeah.
and pay 10% or not, pay 15%.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's kind of what, I mean, it's not really blackmail,
It's
these are the facts.
But it is,
We're
yeah.
This
gonna
is
give
the
we're giving you
fact.
the skinny, right here it is.
We gotta do
We
one
have
or
to
the
do
other.
it.
You gonna pay $6 a gallon for gas, or come over here and pay
Yeah.
$4.20?
Yeah.
Well, I think in our position at the moment, as I see it, and again, you know, we're way off, from doing a true rate calculation, but, I think with the momentum we have, we're in a position where we can present it to the public as, you know, here's what we need, here's, you know, it should be possible to say this costs 1% or 2%.
Sure.
And let the public just tell us. You know,
Right.
Give us some clear direction about what do you have us done for? And if you don't, that's okay too, you know. We're getting to a point where I think we're pushing and maybe ahead of things, so hopefully it would just be a case of a standard rate adjustment instead of a scary one this year.
Anything will be seen
All on with supplementals.
I don't
But,
wanna be a
that's-
stick, I don't wanna be a stick in the mud.
No, that's
Just
okay,
to-
go ahead.
No, just to be clear, that our board as a whole hasn't endorsed the bond,
No,
No.
yeah.
not
I just
even
wanted-
talking about that.
I didn't want it to be said that, you know, oh, the water
No,
board
no,
is
no.
in favor of it. I'm kind of on the fence.
For clarity, I
detail.
wasn't trying to
Yeah.
tie that to the bond, it was just, that was the
I'm
main
kind of
thing.
just saying it for the
Need
record.
to
Yeah.
explore all options.
Yeah.
You know, look at every
I
option
am-
out there,
You wanna look at
grants,
Loans,
loans,
bonds,
bonds,
whatever, you gotta look at all of
whatever.
them.
There's several ways
Definitely
to get
interested
money.
in options. And I think what you said about talking about the rate impact of individual projects, a word I heard today at work that I immediately thought of you guys is the assumptions, what assumptions you're using going into doing your budget planning. And you know, another word is goals, but that's what your rate plan and your budget is also structured around, or is your assumptions for that time period. And so, you know, like this year, your assumptions for the Public Works Department is you're focusing on fire hydrants. And that helps, it helps us know, okay, what your focus on is, and there are other areas of the city to, you know, tell the public what, these are our assumptions, this is what the budget's based on, this is what our rate plan is based on for this time period. So we're not, I think, you know, just not being blindsided, that's really important to the public.
I think that's fair. I don't anticipate any surprises going forward unless Trevor comes screaming in my office one day and says, we've got a problem. So I mean, my assumption on this, if we take it up and again, I think probably a more detailed discussion item, but, you know, we look at the projects, I think we can easily consider that like a supplemental line, like if we would add this, it would cost this, therefore the rate impact will be that.
That, right.
To have a discussion, and then if we can kind of fine tune that enough. I don't like the idea of just a public hearing and just people
Yeah.
coming in.
And let them speak what they're willing to pay for, I get
Exactly.
that. Whether it be, you know, we find a grant, or we find, you know, funds that are being dealt out, that's been, you win the grant, you win some money,
Yeah.
or whatever, or you do the bond, or whatever. You know, there's options out there, and what do they want, and, yeah, they all want this, but it takes money to do this.
Yeah.
So,
And I think
how do we
that
get you there? We can't get you there printing money, we gotta have the money.
And that's really what we've got to, I think, ultimately be mindful of. If we're gonna do it, we've got to have the money. Yes, we hope
Absolutely.
we'll get a grant, or we hope we get something.
We
but
get-
We
yeah.
have to assume we won't get anything, because that's been the status quo.
Sure,
Um,
go for the best and.
But I just think having that direction from the public, I think would be helpful. And then they
Sure.
just tell us, don't touch anything, everything's fine, if it ain't broke, don't fix it,
Yeah.
and that's fine
Well,
too.
That's fine, you can run that, we can run that train too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would just like that input, if possible. I mean, people may,
Yeah,
it's not a great, exciting topic to get out of the house for, but I think it
well,
would be helpful.
people, honestly, us sitting in here tonight, and you know me, I'm a big talker about everything, but I'm telling you, people gotta open eyes and be realistic to what it is. You know, I can't protect you if I can't have a fire truck to get it there. And that fire truck cost $1 million. It was $220,000 in 2001. Now that same truck's $1 million. I can't change things. I can't run on 20-year-old trucks because I'm not doing you a service, you know? I'm spending more on maintaining that truck than I am taking care of, you know?
Well, I think people I've talked to recently, I mean, I think there's an understanding of that. I think that people are seeing that the city is actually doing
Yeah.
something, and so
They're seeing
there's
changes.
more comfort with it, which I think is another good reason to say, all right, now you're seeing things. Now, hopefully, the assumption isn't, well, you said this for years, you're never
Yeah.
gonna do it. Is there anything else you'd like us to do?
Yeah,
If
well-
so, here's the impact of that. And if you don't, that's okay too. We don't necessarily need it right now.
Right now, but
But we do need it, and it's something just to have in the
how you wanna get
conversation.
there?
So there may be an appetite for more than we think, or there may be an appetite for nothing, because we're stretched enough, thank you very much, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I just like that input, and
Yeah,
that's
and-
kind of what I wanted to.
And it puts a
want
little
you guys
bit
to see.
more back on this side, while we're sitting up here looking, thinking, well, we got this and we want this, but they're sitting out there going, well, yeah, well, maybe I am okay with that, you know?
Exactly, and we act in the best of intention, but sometimes this is just one of those things, I'm like, I kinda like that, I kinda like the input, if we can get it, if we can't, that's okay.
Every time something new comes to this town, you can hear a talk.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
hear a little chatter.
Yep.
I hear it all the time,
Yep,
you know, something
Good or
new.
bad.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
did you see that?
yeah.
But when something negative comes to town, it either, everybody gets grumbly about it, you know, I don't agree with that, why would you wanna do that? Or, well, why would they wanna replace that? It's been here for 25 years. Well, honestly, and I'm not gonna use the word I would use, but it wears out. You know, we wear out, we're human beings, you know, hell, we're not robots,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So, and this is off the subject, but I wanna bring this up when we've got us in here, because we're about done, I think. But what's the deal with this shopping center down here? That all this scuttlebutt about these people that bought the shopping center. I ran into my tax guy, and he's gone from there, he's left.
Yep.
And he told me, I asked the girl when I went and picked up the taxes the other day, I said, I heard your rent was going up down at the East Center, and she said, oh man, he said like 3 times the cost, and I said, she said, we can't afford it. And supposedly, is this true, that the story got out, that they were gonna try to collect the same per square foot, or whatever they're selling their deal by, is to match it against Republic, Ozark, and Nixa? Well, hell, that ain't the kind of economy that Willard has.
I don't know.
Well,
What's the story on that?
that's not
that's gonna
necessarily
hurt.
within the purview of the board, but, I mean, summary version I would say is, I called a meeting with them,
Good.
digging into the details, it sounds like more of a market rate adjustment. It sounds like the new owner was willing to work with them, to some degree.
Yeah,
They said it went up about 3 times, and then somebody had given the number of it going up to about $12 a square foot, which tells me it was probably quite low.
right.
We had some developers there who were looking to build, and we tried to connect the dots, but they were looking at about $16 to $18 a square foot. So numerically speaking, it's a business decision, private decision made
Oh, I know.
between private people. So
Sure.
we can't really go there as a city.
Oh,
other
I
than
get
try and
that.
connect the dots.
Sometimes companies need to lose money.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
but, and my thought was, you know, you don't wanna run people out of this town.
No, if you're gonna
If
do
you've
it,
lost, so you've lost this guy out
you
here,
kinda do
tax
it
building, you know, or whatever.
in a rant, but I mean, I don't really do much about leasing and stuff like that, so I
Right.
don't know the market rate adjustments, mechanics, marketing, none
Right.
of that. But as a city, we just tried to bring everybody who was affected together and try to
Sure.
connect some dots and give them some options, and, I mean, whether they took those, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I hope you did some good, I know, I'm just, you know, she told me, she said, oh, yeah, that's it, we're done, we said we'd have to raise our prices. We'd have to raise so much just to cover rent,
Yeah,
and, you know, and someone said another business, she said those 3 bays up there, she said, everybody on our side on those bays, they're gone. She
yeah.
said she said one girl left and went to Nixon and took
I
her
think
business
some
there.
had, long-term leases that will run.
Yeah, they're tied
So
into
they're-
some
so
of them,
they're-
they got
yeah,
to stay.
Ryan is gonna be there a while, cause
Yeah,
Yeah,
talk to them, and
Yeah.
Pillbox
Yeah.
Pharmacy is gonna be there a while, but.
good.
yeah.
You know, the rumor is they want it to fold up, tear it down, and build apartments.
Is that right?
Well, they have a hard time.
That's what.
Yeah, that's,
I mean,
and here's
that's
my
where the city
concept. Why would
Get
you?
involved, yeah, that's
Yeah,
why we.
that's when you need to get involved, but why would you do that?
Yeah.
Apartment, that's great, you can have all the apartments you want, but that don't bring in sales tax, that
It's
don't bring in
so
stuff you need.
commercial and I
Yeah.
can't see that change.
I hate to see that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a business down there for years in '85, I had Pat's Pizza, I own that. I paid $125, $175 a month for rent when I had my bay.
Oh.
And then we raised it to 2 1/4 because I had to, they put in a new AC system,
Yeah.
you know? And I told that girl that, because she was in the same bay I was in, she said, how much?
Wes, are we talking about water loss report?
It's on here, I wasn't sure, I think that was a question
our
you guys
next
had, and
thing.
I'm hoping that Trevor can kind of brainstorm that one with you.
If you want,
Yeah,
yeah.
brainstorm that one.
It's up to you guys.
Is you have like a percentage water loss?
yeah, I've got-
What we call it unaccounted for water, I don't know if you call it that or not, you know, gallons pumped versus gallons billed.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, I mean, I call it non-revenue water, I mean, it's water we're losing, so water
Mhm.
lost, non-revenue water. But yeah, I mean, I've got a short year, or I can make it even shorter, I mean, I don't know, I don't wanna take up too much time, you know? Yeah, it's up to you guys, whatever you're feeling.
Whatever you want to do.
Or, I mean, we're missing two of our,
Yeah,
Committee
I don't mind
people.
tabling it honestly, because
Yeah,
it is
that's
kind of an important topic.
Mm.
yeah,
Oh,
oh,
yeah,
yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
not-
I agree, they need to
maybe not
understand
lost
which,
somewhere.
I'm fine, whatever you want to
Yeah.
do.
yeah.
Well, I'll make a motion to table it since it is
Yeah,
on the.
that's fine.
agenda
I like
for
it.
next-
Yeah, I'm good,
That's fine.
we can move it up to the next time.
Okay. I had a real quick question about the annexed, 36 acres, I think it's Farm Road 71 and 160, that the board, I think they approved it, I don't know.
Oh,
Is
on the
yeah.
west
Will there be
side.
water and sewer extended there? I don't know what's going on.
I believe that's the plan, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why they annexed in, was to get
Is
the
it a
connection.
development or? are
It's a
they
church
paying-
doing it.
Oh, okay.
They
So they're-
annexed the whole parcel, but they're only building on like 7 or 8 acres, is that?
Okay,
What is it gonna be?
a church?
A
It's
church?
gonna be a church.
Is it a Willard Church moving or?
I'm
I
sure
don't know.
that-
Yeah.
I think it's a new one,
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it's a whole new one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
I
they're
think there
paying
is
for
a
the-
Willard church that's planning to move.
They're gonna pay for all the water and sewer to be
Okay.
extended.
That was
Bring it
my
out,
question.
they're gonna bring it
I
back.
thought that was
Yeah.
the case, but I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this church, I think, here is planning on moving at some point. Is it not this church?
The Mormons?
I don't,
They
Well,
felt
I
like
think
they
it
were
was-
planning on
I think it
moving.
is a
You're
Mormon
pointing
church
at like
going in
3
there. Maybe it is
churches.
that one. It might be.
There's like 18 churches.
Oh,
I know.
I know I put it through.
Church
The
tracks.
closest one this way.
Church, they're not a big revenue generator though, I mean.
Yeah, they're not.
Very low usage.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think they've paid for their connection and fees, and I think.
But it does get us on the other side of the highway
It
there,
does.
you know.
Good.
so
That is
That is
That-
good.
that's good.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
get a bigger main across under there.
yeah, and we get, man, I mean, that's gonna be an expensive bore, it's gonna be
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
expensive.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty good sized bore.
Yeah,
Over that way, I mean, kind of off the point, but kind of not. As I understand our sewer calculations, it's very, very difficult to get sewer all the way out there, because there's lots of little ridges and rises and whatnot.
Right.
But if we can get water out there, there's nothing to say that people can't have septic if they can pass the perks. So, I mean, it potentially allows development that way that we can support.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
So currently, they're gonna put in a septic tank for the.
I think they're connected to sewer, aren't they?
yeah, I thought they
They're
were
connected.
Are they gonna bring sewer, are you gonna take sewer to them?
The contractor,
Oh,
yeah.
They
Okay.
pay for it.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was just curious, because
Yeah.
sometimes on the recording, it's hard to hear the details.
Yeah,
I
we're-
missed that.
In case you notice, we're having some changes. We'll paint,
Oh, okay,
and then when we paint, we plan to try, we're hoping for acoustic tiles just here, might deaden some of the sound.
yeah,
And then Jeremy's looking at cheaper options, but I think ultimately we're gonna need one of those deals that just might be a little time coming, but
Yeah, but you're
he's
saying
looking at
like
some
that.
options that will work for now.
yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Because it's great.
I do
can
listen,
hear-
I just don't always get to it right away,
I can
but
hear
I
it
do
if I
listen.
listen in my car with it turned up full blast.
Yeah. And then you turn the radio on and go,
Or on my,
no.
or on headphones, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's not ideal.
Yeah, I've heard the concerns, and even my wife has complained at me that she can't hear. So,
Mhm, yeah.
I'm well aware.
And you are the hardest to hear.
I know, when I think,
We just go buy you a megaphone and get
Yeah.
talking.
it doesn't go well together, yeah. Yeah, that's why I try to
Can you
memorize
hear
as
me
much as
now?
I can, because I don't have to think, but, yeah.
The only other thing I wanted to mention, maybe for a future meeting, and I asked about it, I think in one of our first meetings, was the utility deposits. And I was hoping to get some clarity on that, if, because I think currently the policy, according to the municipal code, is that the city keeps the deposit until you close your account, which I mean could be 40 years.
No, I think, as I recall, and we might just double check the language online, and this is from recent experience myself, they applied it to my
Okay,
bill after 12 months.
yeah, you might look at the code, because the last time I checked, it was still written that way.
It sounds
but
like we're
maybe-
doing something.
Yeah, you might be doing
Yeah.
something in practice that's.
Yeah, I better check on that one.
Okay,
Thank
that
you.
was just something I was wondering about, not a big deal, but just a question.
Well, if the code doesn't say it, we need to change it, because we maybe, we don't wanna
Well,
violate
you want to
the
be
code.
consistent.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Well,
right,
if
I will
there's
check
nothing
on
else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Look at there, did great.